Russell Westbrook fair for the world champion NBA history, bro. This shit's sad, bro.
You have to put the
This shit's sad
right
as fuck,
pieces
man.
around
Russell
Russell
played
Westbrook.
good. That's what I'm
And
saying.
I
He
mean by
played
that, you
great
can't put
last
superstar
season.
guys
Like I don't
around him.
understand.
KD, yeah, I think you have to put a bunch of shooters, a bunch of just athletic guys like AI was constructed. Yeah. He is Allen Iverson. You have to put guys that really don't care about scoring the ball. It's just all about, we know this is our guy, Russ is our guy.
I know T-Mac, he said some things recently that's rubbed some people the wrong way, but this was said in 2018 when Russ was at the peak of his powers. He basically called Russ the modern AI, and that's always been a pretty accurate comparison to me because their careers aged pretty similarly. Allen Iverson eventually wanted to be moved from Philly, and they gave him what he wanted. It just didn't go exactly how he planned.
That
Now
nigga,
playing
yeah, was just
beside
doing
Carmelo,
weird shit. Yeah,
Denver
hit it,
had
bro.
two of the most ball-dominant players in the history of the sport. And how exactly do you think that worked out? In 2 seasons together, these two won 1 playoff game. And how exactly
Damn,
do you think these
that's
playoff
ass.
games looked? In the playoffs, in these 2 years where these two played together, only 6 players averaged 20 shots a night in the entire league. 2 of them played for Denver.
You could look at it as you've got traded again, or you're with the Detroit Pistons, a team that's been to 6 straight Eastern Conference Finals. Your thoughts, sir?
I look at it like I'm turning into a journeyman.
They moved Chauncey Billups, a championship point guard. Some people say Allen Iverson.
This
his
nigga
skill
Stephen
set,
A
we know
had the
what he's
worst
going to
cut
bring
for
to the
about
table.
last
But
20
are the
years.
Detroit
Damn,
Pistons
nigga.
going to be better
How long
with
has shit
him,
been like that?
or is he going to make the situation worse? What do you say to people who have those questions?
I think it's gonna be better. You know,
As soon as Iverson left, Denver made the conference finals, and that was basically the end of Allen Iverson's career. If you look at Russ's last 2 years with Kevin Durant, they were better, obviously, but it was somewhat of the exact same plateauing.
No, the fuck one. I don't know it was, bro.
It's going to be
No one.
scary.
Don't even
That's all.
fucking lie. When Russ left for Houston, don't even lie, gang. When Russ left OKC, they ass wasn't shit for like at least 3-4 years. When Russ left Houston, they won shit. When Russ left the Washington Wizards, they won shit. Don't say they got it better when he left, gang. Don't do that. You'll do lying at that point, gang.
It's going to be scary.
Do that shit.
Not for us.
The problem is when stars push to go play somewhere else, those new teams might have shorter patience with all your deficiencies. And consequently, that can do way more damage to your legacy than it could have ever
Nigga,
helped.
have fun.
Dwight
Fuck.
Howard said this
Heard I
to
said,
Giannis about him possibly leaving Milwaukee.
I wanted to really tell him to do at this moment is to really just stay silent. This is a big decision for him coming up, and I totally understand from the situation in Orlando what that would feel like. So, just stay put for a little bit, Giannis.
Dwight Howard is saying this because this man got left off a top 75 list simply because he left Orlando. This created a cycle of different team after different team
Yo,
after
man.
different team. And it kind of blurred out how great his Orlando years actually were. I seen that it's
A
now
Bonnie
been
Blue
4
movie.
years since this attempt at a senior citizen. In super team, I guess.
To the strip,
And it's
you know
crazy
it.
to me because a lot of these guys on this
To the
very
strip
same
I
team
go.
were victims of
Nigga
chasing
know what I'm
greener
on.
grass that simply
On the
never
real.
existed.
Starting at the 4 or even coming off the bench. And the second question is...
Who, me?
Oh.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
Today's video is sponsored by SeatGeek.
Guess
The
what,
NBA
Melo?
season-
You definitely came off the motherfucking bitch, though. Why you laughing and shit, gang? Fuck around with that nigga. Damn, man. That's half the video.
Russ called me out of DMs me out of nowhere. He DM'd me like, yo, what's your number? I'm like, me, what's my number? Text me like, yo, DC trying to get me, but they saying you don't want to leave. No, this has been for 10 years. This is my franchise. Like,
right.
why would I want to leave? I'm like, what you mean they want you? He's like, yeah, they want to trade you.
Russell Westbrook, he's
Yeah,
soon
nigga.
to be 30.
Nigga, yeah. Fuck. Nigga, Ray John Wall, stop playing John Wall. You stop. Don't even do that. Gang, don't even play games, gang. You wasn't shit the last 2 years in that motherfucking team. You was not shit, gang. Your way was just straight garbage. The last 2 years on the Wizards, you wasn't doing shit on the court, man. Like, I'm talking about shit. You stayed injured. When you wasn't injured, you were just doing straight bullshit.
37 years
Don't
old.
even lie.
If I'm being honest, he squeezed way more out of the latter years of his career than I ever would have imagined, especially with his play style. But Russ opted out of his Denver contract this summer, likely seeking more money elsewhere, and unfortunately, it just backfired. Sacramento seemed to have some interest, which I don't really understand given how they're built and their spacing, but anywhere else, it seems to be crickets. Now, this is just one small misstep. And like I said, he's 37 now, so it's not really that major.
So you trying to tell me Dylan Brooks can be in the league, but not Russ? You trying to tell me Dylan Brooks got a contract, but not Russ? Draymond Green just dropped 2 points last night, my nigga. He just dropped a fresh 2 points last night. Oh, 20 minutes of game time, and he can't. And he trying to tell me Russ can get a contract?
Back to 2021 is
Y'all
where
got it,
I
y'all got it,
believe
y'all got it.
everything just went downhill for Russ. We've heard player after player after player simply talk about the stress of just playing beside LeBron. Not even just players, coaches, GMs. It sounds like the most stressful task in the sport. But Russell Westbrook himself, he just went there with way too much status for it to be as epic as a failure as it ultimately was. Unlike other stars, kinda like Dwight, Russ leaving OKC didn't immediately trigger the downfall of his career. Never forget, the best basketball I've seen Russ play outside of OKC is when he went to Houston. But kinda to T-Mac's point, in order for them to have that little bit of success, they had to completely lean all the way into small ball so Russ can have paint space to be Russ. This is what it looked like before they traded Clint Capella, and this is what it looked like after. Every team can't do that for one player. This is what makes Russ's transition into being a role player so tough, because typically the role players complement the stars. Russ has always been that star. And leaving Washington, where it felt like was his last place where he was actually appreciated for what he truly did well, and going to LA, where he's from, where LeBron plays, and where every mistake just felt
LeBron
magnified.
is.
It did unnecessary
Something
damage
about
to his
that nigga,
legacy.
man.
Skip and Shannon, I mean,
I don't
it
know
felt like
what it
this
is, but it's
every
something
day.
about Bron,
A team
gang.
that just won an
Come on,
NBA
man.
championship and
I
basically
showing that
held the
shit.
first seed the following
Fuck.
season until they had all
Too
these
fast,
major
man.
injuries. They fell damn near 20 games below 500. And nobody really talked about or even cared about Anthony Davis missing so much time. All they talked about is Russ came to the team. And kind of similar to AI,
Nick with
as
Dick
soon as
Ride.
he left that team,
That
they
part of
immediately
him
went to the conference
is-
finals.
is phenomenal.
Before they lost.
And then just the impact that he has on the
Fuck.
game.
That
right?
shit don't mean shit when you
he
lose,
is a guy that
nigga.
needs the ball. He needs the ball. He's going, whether it's a rebound, pushing the ball to the floor, like he needs it. He wants to make a mistake versus you making a mistake, right? He'd rather be mad at himself versus getting mad at you, right? And I think that's a simple way of putting it.
But it's not just Russ that's
It's
kind
called
of
being
going
leader,
through
bro.
this. When Russ left Washington, reportedly he was pushing Bradley Beal to do the exact same thing. And as soon as he did, it's like he quickly went from kind of being a sympathetic, get him out of Washington figure to immediately becoming a villain, especially in Phoenix.
Bro, you can't blame Russ for that, gang. You can't. Yo, this nigga on some weird shit. Like, Bradley Beal and nigga, who cares if you dropping 30 on a team that's not even making the playoffs, bro? Who gives a fuck? That's them called empty stats, bro. You putting up 30 on a team that's not going nowhere. Like, them niggas ain't win more than 40 games in a season. If that. Who gives a fuck if your points per game lower, nigga? Nigga playing with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker and shit. What the fuck?
Trade himself. He didn't give himself that contract. He didn't give himself a no trade clause. It was the old dumbass Washington regime. But that move and taking a big fish out of an extremely small pond immediately hurt his reputation. In 2021, this is how these two looked. A few years later, they both got paid to basically leave.
He like, yo, Like, what happened to him?
Right.
Like Ben Simmons.
What
Ben
happened?
Simmons is still the same Ben Simmons we watched dominate in Philly. You know the only difference between Ben Simmons in Philly and Ben Simmons now? It's confidence.
I truly sympathize with Ben Simmons because he really has a back
He ain't
issue
got
and
none
that's
of that,
really
bro.
nothing
His
to
shit
play
is
with.
not.
But we know the downfall of his career was this and pouting his way out of Philly. Think about everything Philly did for Ben Simmons, even with his struggles. They built multiple variations of teams around him being petrified to ever shoot a basketball. They gave that man a 5-year max contract before he even made one three-pointer. And look at where he is now.
Ben Simmons, man. The agent dropped him. He said the only offer he had right now was from the Knicks, and he wasn't feeling it. What's going on, man? What we leaning towards?
Then he only got one
But
offer.
it's like when guys leave a team to go to another team, it's like, oh, he's just chasing rings. And I think how it ends up looking that way is because you move on.
I was like, Damian Leonard low key had the most pointless trade of all time. Yeah, like nigga on the bus for one season, then came back to the Trailblazers. That shit was useless.
That situation just might not work out.
When this trade first happened, I had the
That nigga
Milwaukee
was doing
Bucks
anything.
making the NBA Finals. And honestly, they did absolutely nothing together. I'm not blaming Dame for this because I understand the teams were completely different. But it seemed like Milwaukee consistently upgraded Giannis's point guards, which makes you expect better results. Eric Bledsoe made a conference finals, Drew Holiday won an NBA Finals, and now he has a superstar Dame, right? Well, once they added Dame, they also added Dame's contract, and Chris Middleton wasn't the same, and their depth wasn't the same. And unfortunately, Giannis won the least with Dame. That unfairly makes it look like it was Dame.
That may be the only player in the NBA that can win a championship with a team, probably get offered the entire country of Canada, and leave and go back to the Clippers. Like, I can't think of any other guy in the NBA that would turn that down.
Kawhi Leonard in 2019, he left a team that win percentage-wise got better the year after he left. And look at his career now. In 2020 hindsight, Kawhi's prime was way shorter than we thought. So his best chance to maximize his kind of short championship winning window was probably running that back with Toronto in the weaker Eastern Conference. I'll always say this about Kawhi's decision, but the year after he left, this is what that team looked like. They were one game away from the conference finals in the bubble where they got robbed of home court. Even if that man played 30 games, in my opinion, they get back to the finals. If you guys like this video,
That's fact,
I'll
though.
always look kind of back at these.
That shit was fast though.